Good morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are watching from, and welcome to Belinda's Country Living. Today's video, I am doing a recipe out of the cookbook that I purchased at a thrift store last week. It's an old cookbook from a local church. It's Smith Valley United Methodist Church in 1979. Now, it is called pumpkin cake. Now, I've made many pumpkin cakes before, but I thought I would try this recipe for y'all. Now, the first thing you want to do is to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and that way it'll be ready as soon as we get all this mixed up. This is a simple cake. I am doing it in a casserole, square, oblong dish, and it calls for a 9 by 13. Now my dish is slightly bigger. I think it's like 10. Well, look, let me tell you exactly what mine is. It is 14 by 10. So it is slightly bigger than what the recipe calls for, but it's going to be okay. And it just means that the cake will be a little bit thinner, but my opinion, it won't matter. Now, you could also use a sheet pan, and the sheet pans, they're thin. And if you are going to a family gathering and you need more slices of this cake, I would suggest use a sheet pan, and that would work great. I've never used a sheet pan, but I believe it would work fine because you'll get more pieces. So, the recipe calls for 4 eggs, 1 cup of oil. Now, I am using vegetable oil, and it's Glover Valley. It's the cheaper version. I'm frugal, so yeah. To me, oil's oil. So anyway, and you will also need 1 can of pumpkin. Now it calls for 16 ounce. Now my can is 15 ounces, and I'm not going to open up another can to equal to 16 ounces. So I think it'd be all right. And you want to make sure that you're using 100% pure pumpkin. You don't want pumpkin that's already got the seasoning, the ingredients, like your cinnamon and, oh, I got something in that dish there. Where'd that come from? But anyway, it's got to be 100% pure pumpkin. So you're also going to need, 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of soda, which is here. You're going to also need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. But now what I'm going to use, instead of the cinnamon, I'm going to use pumpkin pie spice. So why? Why, you asked? Because it's a pumpkin cake. So we want that pumpkin-y taste. All the spices in there. You are going to need, let's see, the sugar. 1 2/3 cup of sugar. You're going to need a teaspoon of salt. And folks, that's all you're going to need. Except for, we're going to also make an icing for the top. And it's going to consist of a half a cup of butter, which will equal to 1 stick of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and 1 3-ounce package of cream cheese. But when I do my frosting for a cake, I always use an 8-ounce of cream cheese. So that's what I'm going to do with this. And then you'll need just a little bit of milk for that frosting. So let's get started. We're going to mix the dry ingredients first. I'm kind of hoarse today. I've been outside. It's been 50 degrees today in Indiana, so I went outside, walked around. I played with the little dog that I inherited when my sister passed away, and hoping to find her a home. And tomorrow I got a doctor's appointment. He'll go over with when I'm going to have my surgery on my hand. And so, yeah, outside my nose is running, it's draining back down into my throat. So let's get started. We're going to do the dry ingredients first. So it says, well, no. We're going to do the wet ingredients first. And I'm using my KitchenAid mixer. So we're going to add 4 eggs. Now I've only used my KitchenAid mixer maybe 4 times because to me it's easier to use my hand mixer, easier to clean up. But my son got this for me, I don't know, maybe 3-4 years ago. So, and I'm going to use it. Put it in good use. So, I got the 4 eggs. We need the sugar. Let's add the sugar to it. And that is 1 2/3 cup of sugar. In we go. Let's see. We are going to add a cup of vegetable oil. Dude, that's my oven going off. I guess I talk too much. I don't know. We added the 1 cup of oil. Now we're going to add the pumpkin. Let's get that out of there. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day today. I'm going to add the pumpkin. I scrape all of it out of there. You don't want to leave anything behind. Don't waste anything. Get all that goodness out of there. Boy, I love to smell pumpkin. My grandkids love pumpkin. They love the pumpkin pies I make, and they'll be here a little later. My oldest grandson texts me, and I said, gotta go, I'm getting ready to do a video. He said, what are you making? Pumpkin pie? I said, no, pumpkin cake. So, okay, we're gonna get that going. Let's lock this in place. And while that is going, we are going to mix the flour. Now you need all-purpose flour. You need 2 cups. I should use my dry ingredient cup. I should set that aside. Hey. You're going to need 2 cups. I don't know what she's barking at. 2 cups. Hold off. turn it off right now. And you will need 2 cups of flour. So 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You need a teaspoon of baking soda. Get that off of there. Want to make sure. 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. In we go. Then we got the baking powder. You want 1 teaspoon, so it's 1 teaspoon of each. In we go. I don't know what she was barking at, but there wasn't nothing outside. And we're going to need a teaspoon of salt. I'm double checking. Yeah, teaspoon, in we go. And it calls for 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, but I'm using pumpkin spice. Ooh, this is gonna be good. And let me tell you, that's all there is to it. Let's set this aside. I really love, I'm gonna put this over here. Really love my little recipe stand that I purchased last week at the thrift store. That was only $1.50. So we are going to mix this up really good. And we're going to add it to the wet ingredients. And I'm going to put my shield on here. There we go. We're going to add a little bit at a time. And I'm going to tell you why, because usually flour will produce a cloud and it might go up your nose or... So we'll add this a little bit at a time. I don't want this going up my nose. Boy, I'm telling you, this smells good. Doesn't get any easier than this to make a cake. Yeah, you can go out there and buy you a box cake, but I'll tell you, it's not going to be as good as homemade. I'm going to have my 2 little grandsons this weekend. They're going to go to church with me. They're having a Christmas party for the kids. So they're going to go with me. And then Friday, the church is having a get together. We're all going to go to Columbus, Indiana, and view all the Christmas lights, and then we're going out to dinner. Now I'm going to turn this up some more. Now I can take this shield off. Maybe. And that is mixed in really well. And yes, I have made a mess. But when you cook, you make messes. And when you make a mess, you clean it up. Clean, clean as you go. Set this aside so you can see what I'm doing. Unlock it. And I'm going to scrape the beater bars off. Get all of that off of there. Scrape the sides. Oh yeah. You're not going to get all of it off, but use your fingers if you have to. Okay. Got that. See if I can get this out of here. There we go. Yeah, when you use your mixer, your KitchenAid or whatever kind of mixer you have, you do have a lot more of a cleanup. You got the beaters, you got the bowl. And so now what you're going to do, now the recipe doesn't say to spray your pan, but I always spray my dishes with Pam, always. That keeps it from sticking. And this is going to go in the oven. Well, and it depends on your oven. 25 to 30 minutes, but if your oven runs hotter, then you may want to keep your eye on it. My oven does tend to get a lot hotter, so, and the recipe calls for 25-30 minutes, but I will check it. So we're going to pour this in. Boy, it smells good. Like I said, the recipe called for a 9 by 13. Let's get all that out of there. Every bit of it. I would love to have a glass pan that goes to my KitchenAid. I like to see when something is mixing up. Let's get all that goodness out there. And I got it. Scrape that off of there. Clean up my hand. And I'm going to jiggle this around where I can level it out. So that is ready to go into the oven. And I'll get back with you just as soon as it comes out of the oven, and then we'll prepare the icing. Okay, I am back and the cake is out of the oven. I will tell you it took exactly 20 minutes in my oven. And I did check it. This is still very hot, but you could check and make sure it's not jiggly. I also took a toothpick, poked it right in the center, and it come out clean. Now, this cake has to cool completely before I can put the frosting or the icing on top of it. So when this cools, it's going to take, my guess, about an hour for this to cool completely. Then I'll show you how to make the frosting for this pumpkin cake. It's going to be delicious, y'all. I don't know what she's barking at, but anyway, it's still mixing up. You want this to be real creamy. Oh, I want to show you my cup. Everything is better with coffee. And I have to admit, it is. Really like that. I got that at the Dollar Tree, $1.25. let's see how we're doing here. It really looks good. Oh yeah, and I think it's gonna be perfect. Let's get this down. Baby girl, there's nothing out there. Let me get this beater off of here. Sometimes they just, there we go, pop right off, and other times it's hard to get them off. And I want you to look at that because I'm going to eat that. And oh my goodness, this is really good. Now let me show you. You want to scrape the side of the bowl. Now this is the consistency that you want. Just like that. That is perfect. Now, you can add cinnamon to this. You can add sprinkled pumpkin spice. And if you want, you could also add some sprinkle on some nuts on this. But I don't have any nuts, so we're just going plain. Go ahead and just scoop that off there. Put it in little bitty piles. I believe the next time I make this, I'm going to use a sheet pan. It'll make it much thinner and easier to hold in your hand if you want a snack. Or this isn't doing my arm any good. Set that aside. And I was going to use another to spread the icing, but I think I don't need to use that. So let's go ahead and spread this. Oh my goodness. And this frosting or icing, depending on what kind of cake you're making, if you're making it for a kid's birthday or whatever, or just for fun, you could put some sprinkles on this. I don't know about y'all out there, but if you have allergies, like I do, a doctor prescribes Florinaise. And I've been using this, a couple of years. Does it help? Sometimes. But when you got a cold and it's not allergies, it doesn't do a very good job. Nothing like having a stopped up nose on one side, and it drains. I want you to look how pretty this is. Just spread it, do however you want. And boy, this is a beautiful cake. And let me tell you, this icing is much better than the kind that you buy. I don't buy the icing in a jar. It gets really super sweet. This is too. So now I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to rake this off. Get it off of there. Nothing wrong with using your fingers. There you go. Very good. And I'm not going to put no topping on it or anything. Get me a little dish here. And I'm gonna cut a piece. Okay, so let's cut into this. And I love the end pieces. I like to measure. Shh. Will you be quiet? Here we have it. Oh, yeah. I'm going to my other sister's place. I think it's Thursday. Thursday? I'm not sure. No, it's Saturday. So let me get this. You know, the first piece is always the hardest to get out. And it's coming right out of the pan. Look how moist this cake is. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. So moist. Wow, that just tastes like Christmas, Thanksgiving. I got my little friend down here. Been you down, you got to see this little dog. She belonged to my sister. So I've got you sitting over here on the counter now. But this is baby girl. She belonged to my sister who passed away. And she looks so sweet. And she is sweet. But you don't want to turn your back on her. Because she loves to get stuff off the table in the front room. And she'll tear it up. I bought her a collar. Got her a training collar that beeped and vibrate, and she done chewed it up. There you go. But I want to tell you, she is way too much for me to handle. She's only 11 months old. When my sister got her, she didn't realize that this dog has a lot of energy. She's they call a mudgeon. And it's a pug and a mini pinscher. And oh my God, they got so much energy. And my sister trained her to go on puppy pads. And I can't get her to go outside to go to the bathroom to do her business. So she's just too much for me to handle. So I'm trying to find her a good home. My sister had 2 cats. I found the one cat she had, quarterback. I found him an awesome home yesterday, and these people love that cat. The other cat that she had was called Possum, and she's got skin issues, and I'm dealing with that. So I'll probably end up being stuck with that cat. And maybe this is my problem, having these cats. I don't know, but anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Nothing to do with this cake, because this cake's good, y'all. Please try this cake. It's very moist. Look at that. And I'll tell you something else you could probably put in this is a pineapple. But I want to show you something. In this recipe, this is what we did, was the pumpkin. And there's the recipe and the icing. Now, going down, there's also a Swedish nut cake. And that is made with pineapple. Now, I'm going to make that because I love pineapple, and I'm going to make that. So I will be doing a video on that this week, trying to do as much videos as I can before I have my surgery. Like I said, I don't know when I'm going to have that, hopefully after Christmas and sometimes in January. So, I'm telling you, and this recipe, the pumpkin cake, his name is Jim George. I don't know who he is, but this recipe book from the church, it's in 1979, so. But anyway, Jim George, if you ever watch my videos, this is a recipe that comes from the church book. And you sent that in. So, till the next time, I've babbled enough. Till the next time, thank you all for watching my video, giving me the thumbs up, and please do your comments. And if you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you. I do a little bit of everything. Cooking, projects, I do product reviews. So, I'm just a jack of all trades and master of none. And I want to thank all of you for your prayers. Keep sending your prayers my way. God, I miss my sister so bad. And I know they say time will heal. But she was young. But I know she's in no more pain. And as always, be kind in your words. Pray for someone. Go visit the elderly this year. You know, there's a lot of elderlies in the nursing home, and they don't have family that come and see them. So go visit them. Take them some candy, some fudge, or just pop in and say, take them one of those little bitty lap blankets. I've done that many, many times. So, and again, thank you, and be kind in your words. And I love you.